Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. How are you? It's a beautiful day, another beautiful day here. I thought it was going to rain today, to be honest. So this is a welcome surprise. How are you all doing today? We're going to be making some more flowers. We're going to make Gerbera Daisies. Gerber, say that fast. I have a hard time saying that fast. But we're going to make daisies, Gerbera daisies out of paper today. And I'm going to show you how to use a little bit how to use some floral tape, including also floral wire and a couple of different wires that I found to be helpful. And let's see what's going on here. Good morning, Shirley. Hi, hello. Hi, Shelly. Good morning. Yeah, it's beautiful here today. I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods, but it's really beautiful. Now, this file is coming from, look at that. Isn't that so cheery and sunny and so easy to do? This is mostly about cutting and cutting correctly. And then I did put the stem on here. I was just working on some leaves to try to figure out how to properly do the leaves. The leaves are a little problematic, but otherwise, this is a really simple, believe it or not, very simple thing to do. And and I have to tell you, I am pretty fascinated with Gerbera daisies. As I might have mentioned to you, I didn't even know what they were when I saw them. I thought they were fake. And because they're so sturdy and they just don't look super real, like they're just such a sturdy flower that instead of doing it in like crepe or regular paper, I thought this would be a good flower to do with cardstock. And I think that I'm right because it is very sturdy, very much like the flowers. It really consists of two size petals. There's 3 layers of this larger petal and 3 layers of this smaller petal, and then there is like the center of the flower, and then here are the leaves. And I'm going to show you, these are free in Cricut Design Space. They're free images. You don't have to go anywhere to get them. They are right in Design Space. You do need to resize them, and I'm going to show you how I resize them and sort of work with them, and also how I cut them out. And then we'll just put a couple together. I just really like them. They're so cheery. And so my thought process was to take the leaf and put it somehow here. Who's not feeling well? Someone, Dawn. Maybe Dawn's not feeling well. I hope she's feeling better. Okay, so I just want to say hello to everybody and welcome. I'm going to say hi to my friend Holly on YouTube as well. I keep forgetting to say hello. She's a constant fan over on YouTube. She doesn't have social media, meaning she doesn't have Facebook, but she is a constant fan over there. So hello, Holly. Thank you for joining us, and so appreciate all of your wonderful comments on YouTube. Hey, listen, if you aren't following me on YouTube, you really should be, because one, all of these videos, so like some people are just now discovering Cricut Chat, and so they're like, do you have a video for XYZ? And the bottom line is, yeah, I probably have it. If it's about Cricut, I probably have a video about it. What if it's a small thing or it's a little thing? And the idea of this show is more like a podcast than it is like tutorials. So it sort of lends itself to watching the entire thing, maybe skipping over parts that you already know about. But I always sneak in extras in on all the videos. And so, it's a good thing to be watching, or at least to be following and going back and looking at certain videos if you need more information. And also, you can enter to win a brand new Cricut Joy. That is one of the perks of this Cricut Chat. We're giving away a Cricut Joy every month from now until the fall. And all you have to do is to be following the program, Cricut Chat. And it's, let's see, you can follow it in 3 places, but the main one is YouTube. And you will find the link to the giveaway, and you do have to put your name in for the giveaway. It's not automatic. So there is a link, and it's in the description of the video. Once I get done with the live, I put that in there. So once it appears on YouTube, you'll find the link. Okay? So anyway, let's talk about Gerbera Daisies. As I mentioned to you, and I love flowers. I really, really do love flowers. And I'm constantly amazed at all the different flowers that I don't know about. I'm a New England gal, and there are certain flowers that they just sort of get popular around here. I don't know if that happens in your neighborhood, but like when everybody started doing hydrangeas, everybody had to have hydrangea bushes. We have peonies, we have lilacs, or peonies, if you want to call them that. We have a lot of wonderful flowers here. I remember one time when they were like, I don't know if they were begonias or something. They were like called dinner plate. I think they were begonias, but when they came out, everybody had them in their yards. So I don't see Gerbera Daisies a lot. I didn't see them growing up. My mother was more like annual flowers that came around. So that was the way that I learned. So I didn't find out about Gerbera Daisies and dahlias until I was in my 20s, going to the Topsfield Fair and checking out all of the garden shop, like the garden store, not the store, the garden club, beautiful flowers that they had and had grown. And I was like, is that real? I had to touch them. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I had to touch them. And so here is my rendition and of a Gerbera daisy. Now the dahlias are a different video. Okay. So we're going to do the dahlias slightly differently. We're going to make them really large. And I will tell you that if you go and look for dahlias, on like Pinterest, oftentimes people are using like a paper cone wreath to make it look like a dahlia. But I have found a beautiful free dahlia, very large, like giant dahlia, and it's free file that we're going to do. Okay. So let's see. And then also for tomorrow we're doing, Earth Day. It's Earth Day. It's actually the 51st, anniversary of Earth Day. And we are going to be, doing, let's see, I have some stickers that we're going to do, and hopefully I can squeeze in a tote using infusible ink, because I just got a huge shipment of infusible ink in. They were having it on sale, and I'd love to do a tote bag with infusible ink. I saw one that's really cool. So anyway, let's get started on these Gerbera daisies. As someone saying, I don't need to use the A on the end if I don't want to. Thank you. And these, as I mentioned, are from Cricut Design Space. They're free. And thank you, Paralita. And they're free. And the image is basically consists of these three exactly the same flowers, and we're going to show you how to close them up to create sort of a cup-like effect. And then these layers of petals, which I accidentally changed the size, and then there's the inside of the flower, and then there are two leaves. I'm going to group this together just so you can see where you get this from. Okay, so we're going to go to images as we often do. And we're going to go to image sets. And this image is found under, it's called 3D Floral Home Decor. So you can just type in any of those words like floral or 3D or home decor, and you will find it right here. 3D Floral Home Decor. There are a couple of images that I use from here a lot. I've used to make poppies. I've used it for the greenery for Christmas. And what else have we done? Oh, the peony, which is down here, or peony, is down here. That's a very nice one. And here is the daisy. Okay, which is a little different than, say, a black-eyed Susan, which they also have right here. So I really like this. This is a chrysanthemum, and to be honest, I don't think it's a very good chrysanthemum. I think I'm going to look for a different one. But some of the other ones here are really great, and this is where we also got our daffodils from last week. So we're just going to click on that and insert it into our canvas. Now you'll note that it comes in very small, so you can just make it bigger just to start with. And the thing I don't like about this is having to like resize to get it to the right size. So what I usually do is I ungroup it because it comes in grouped, and I then sort of do my little trick of, or my little, I don't know if it's a trick, but my little thing where I start piling everything as if it's going to be put together correctly or all together so that I can do sizing. I need to send this in the back just so I can see how the sizing is going to look. Okay, so once I do that, I'm going to regroup it, and then I can make a change to the size. Now, these ones here are, let me just check real quick, but they are sort of let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe they're about 5 inches. So it's up to you. They're sort of round, so I would work on the width. So you could go anywhere from 4.5 to 5.5 inches. And once you do that, the only thing that you need to do is cut them out. Now, if you've looked at pictures of these daisies, they're very bold colors. So I have picked out, obviously I did this one in orange, but I also picked out some pretty nice pink, a little red, and also kind of a purple, and we're going to put them together, okay? To cut these out, my suggestion is to use, if you have it, use the Michaels 8.5 by 11 inch paper. That's a 65 pound approximately paper. And remember, it comes here in this little package. I like this paper for this flower, but you do need to move things around a little bit so that you can use this paper, because this paper is 8.5 by 11. So you might need to sort of make a few adjustments. And when you do make those adjustments, please be careful that you're not overlaying anything past the margins of the flower, because it will cut it off, or that you might also, if you're rearranging some of these flowers sort of like this, that nothing is sort of touching each other, because it will cause a problem. So in this case, I view my my page as 8.5 by 11 inch by 11 here. And so you see, this is kind of, it's sort of pushing it. So I might have to sort of make some changes here to make sure I don't exceed the 8.5 by 11. The other thing you can do is go over to material size and choose 8.5 by 11. Did you know that you can change your material size? It normally is the default is 12 by 12, but you can change your material size, and this will make it so that everything comes onto this paper. However, you will end up having to move things like this so that it all sort of fits. Do you know what I'm saying? So in this case, we could sort of move the object here and sort of work around it. And I'm just now thinking, you know what? I probably made these slightly bigger than what I normally have them at. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to make them ever so slightly smaller. And I think they all will fit on the 8.5 by 11 inch paper. So let's do that. Just going to group this and make them just a scotch smaller. Okay. And here we go. We'll change it to 8.5 by 11, but we'll need to still move this big piece over here. Now, this is useful because the paper at Michael's is great to cut on. It's also very accessible. Like, a lot of people can use Michael's paper. They can get to Michael's paper. It's not like, say, Hobby Lobby that is, they're just not in certain areas. So it's good to do this. And then what you want to do is to make enough, like make it so that you have 3 mats. So you have one, this is the flower, and then the next mat is the stamen or the center, and then here are the leaves. To be frank, I would probably cut out more flowers than I would leaves. So for me, just gonna make it ever so slightly more because it's gonna fit. I will make it fit on 8.5 by 11. Okay. And again, I could either change it or I can just eyeball it. This is gonna fit now. All right. And I could also make it 11 inches this way if I don't change. You see what I'm saying? So there's that. Now, if you have 12 by 12 inch paper and you want to use 12 by 12 inch paper, then you won't have to do this fiddling. But I just want to show you how you can use this 8.5 by 11 inch paper to make flowers. And if you're making like a big floral backdrop, this is a good opportunity for you to save some paper, okay? Because otherwise, if you did it on 12 by 12, think of it like this, you'd have a whole big sheet, like this whole thing and this whole thing that were like leftover. Okay, so that's why I'm trying to kind of have you think about it in an 8.5 by 11 inch way. Okay, these would make an excellent, I think, backdrop or an accent on a wreath, because you wouldn't need to do the whole floral tape, and you actually wouldn't need to do the leaves. But I'm going to show you how to do this on an actual floral wire. Okay, so we're not going to cut these out today, but I will tell you that I cut these on cardstock for intricate cuts. That is not a setting on the Joy, but it is a setting if you go to either Explore or the Maker. And on Explore, you'd have to have your dial set to custom, and then you would go to materials, and you can see under cardstock, there's this cardstock for intricate cuts. This is one of my favorite settings because it slows down the machine enough to deal with very intricate cutting. And if you're not using this, particular setting, then you're missing out, because it really does help. And sometimes it's your paper. Like someone emailed me yesterday saying, I'm having a hard time on my Joy with this paper that I bought, and that I thought, sometimes it's the paper. I've always recommended Cricut cardstock and also this Michael's Recollection cardstock, but I've found that the Joann's paper that comes 8.5 by 11 doesn't really cut well, and I've also heard that Hobby Lobby's does not cut well. So I can't speak for other brands, but these are the brands that I have tried. Okay, so cardstock for intricate cuts. I don't need to show you how this is cut out, so I'm going to just move you down to my work area and show you how this goes. Now, to make these, again, we'll need, it's mostly cardstock, but we're going to need some floral wire, and I struggle with floral wire, and especially with floral tape, because floral tape is basically, it's like got an adhesive on it when you sort of pull it like this, and you can feel that it gets sort of sticky. Unfortunately, it's not as sticky as I want. So when I'm starting out with it, I will sort of start it with a little bit of glue. It may be that I don't have the best tape in the world, and I am prepared to say that probably is the case, because I think it shouldn't be too much of a struggle with floral wire. I'm also using these two size floral wires. This is called a stem wire. I bought this at Paper Mart, and there's 12 pieces. It's 16 gauge. It's very thick and long. So I am going to, for my daisies, I'm going to cut them in half, approximately in half, and I do need some sort of cutter for that. Again, I'm not like doing this every single day. There might be better tools out there, but for me, this is what I've got. This is what I'm working with. And I would recommend, if you're working with this kind of wire, that you use something that will cut through. Don't use your good scissors, okay? So here it is in half, and what I'm going to do is take the end, and I'm going to twist it, try to make a circle. All right? Like this. Make a kind of a circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm also going to sort of bend it so that this becomes the resting place of my flower. Now, if you were able to find those stem wires that We Are Memory Keepers had, this is in place of those stem wires. So I'm doing this because most people couldn't find them. Okay? And so there is going to be our stem wire. We're also going to try to use a very thin, I don't know what gauge this is, it's probably like 10, but a very thin wire that we'll use for our leaves, and I'll just cut that in half, okay? So this is what you need. You need some sort of a thick wire. They do have Gerbera Daisies do have very thick stems, and you will probably need some floral tape and some little plier thingies and maybe a pair of scissors. You're going to also need a glue gun. I don't have my enormous glue gun with me today. I have my little baby glue gun, so I'm going to show you what we're going to use that for. So there's my baby glue gun with glue in there, and it's heating up. Okay, so you'll notice, well, this is what I do not like about glue guns. They never stand up for me. Okay, So you'll notice that you have these three, and they're open, these three petals or groups of petals, and they're open right here, and there's like a little half moon or a half circle here. That's because we're going to glue them closed at this little half moon. What that achieves is a really pretty and nice circular, almost like a cup, very like more of a saucer look. So we're just going to enclose or close up this circle by putting a little tiny bit of glue on that circle, and we're going to just hold it in place until it catches. And you'll notice that it's already got a really beautiful like bend to it, or circular, I don't know what the word is, but you guys get me, right? It's given it dimension like it's a real flower. So we're going to do this for all three of the big pieces. Try to keep your glue from spreading out different places. And you guys will be better than me because I don't really do glue guns all that well, as you have noted from before. So here are our three larger petal layers, okay? So there's the three. Whoops. Make sure you hold it so it stays. Don't want it to come undone. All right. Then we're going to do the same thing with the smaller pieces. Where's my smaller red piece? Red piece, where are you? So these are all my pinks. Meh, where is it? Well, I have to just proceed with just two. And oh well. So, but there are three. So we're going to cut and glue three of these internal pieces, okay? And give it enough time to hold in place. Otherwise, you end up with a little bit of a gluey mess. I think this kind of flower would look fabulous on a wreath because it's not flat. And a lot of the problems with having a paper wreath is that it can tend to look really flat, and I don't like that. So, I mean, I love paper, but I just like it to have some dimension, and same holds true for wreaths. So I think this would be one of many different flowers that would look good on a finished wreath. So keep that in mind. You may not need to do the stem at all. All right, so this is what we're doing. So we have all 6 of these pieces at the ready, and we're going to, I'm going to switch to the pink because I actually have all 3 of those inner circle pieces. All right, so we're just going to turn each of these base petals over, and I'm just putting just a little, try to use just a little. I think that's where I always get in trouble with glue guns, is I try to use too much. And then I'm going to lay it over, trying to sort of offset it a little bit, just because I want for this to look really full, okay? So you see, we still have that nice curve, that nice shape to our flower. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Little itty bit of glue. And there we go. And it's not like completely even, like there's still these little pieces hanging out. Where are my blue? I have them, they're around here, but I'm using the little basic glue gun, so it's not burning my fingers as much. Okay, so, whoops, look at one of ours came undone, so I need to put a little bit of glue on that. Close it up. know that industrial type glue gun, which gets so stinking hot. It works great, but it's so hot. I swear it's hotter than a regular glue gun. And my friend bought it for me thinking he was doing me a favor, but gee, it really does require the little fingers. But this one, not so much. Okay. So then I'm going to start with the inside piece. You can place the first one anywhere as long as you don't actually need to see this hole, but the hole is there. So in case you have one of those type stems, you can have it come out that way. And I'm doing the same thing where I am putting a little tiny bit of glue on each of those petal layers. Like this. And then the third one. So easy to do. Right? You can make yourselves a whole bouquet of these and check out, go online and look at the different colors that are available in these daisies. They're really quite bold. I love the boldness of the colors. Okay, so now we have actually the flower done. So what we're going to do is flip it over. You might want to clean off some of this little bit of glue here, okay? And this is where it's going to rest on there. And I actually just kind of like nestled it in there. So I put some glue, making sure it didn't come out the other side. I put some glue here in that space, that opening, and then I take the circular end and I'm going to just sort of wiggle it in there so that it stays. Now, I didn't put the stem on, the stamen on until I did this, because if some glue came out the other side, you know, and it takes a minute or two to hold. All right. And I'm trying to show you the actual flower as it looks. So it doesn't have that piece in the middle yet, but I'm going to actually fold this so you can see it better. And then we're ready to put the piece in the middle. Let's see. And then we'll talk about the floral tape, and we'll talk about how much trouble I have with that. And the leaves. We'll talk about the leaves too. Okay, there you go. That is a completed flower. Now let's, I'll show you on the bottom, just two, okay? So what you're going to do is you need to wrap this in floral tape. There's my other red piece. Wrap it in this floral tape and wrap it really good. You see here, I did not wrap it really well. I do struggle with floral tape. And again, it might be my actual tape. And then in terms of the leaves, what I did was you get two different leaves. You get this one and you get this one, and this one has that little half moon, so we're going to glue that together, and that creates that natural bend in the flower. I'm sorry, in the petal, or the leaf petal, in the leaf. You see it has like a little bit of a shape here. Right? And then this one, no, does not have any. And you could also, by the way, use for the leaves, you could just use a little bit of this just to kind of give it some shape so it doesn't look so flat. Okay? You could also, if you wanted to, put a vein in it like that. I think that would look good. And I'm going to just use my little scraper to kind of give it a little shape so it doesn't just look like paper, you know. All right. And then taking the thinner wire, I am going to put a little bit of glue on the top of the wire like this. Now you might be able to get away with doing this with liquid glue. So if you want to try it, but you'll have to be very patient with it because you might have to hold it for a longer time. So there I put the glue on the leaf, but that's okay, even though, you know, you might say, oh, that's going to look awful, Rita. I'm going to put this one on top of it, so it's going to cover it. And maybe I'll even put it sort of a little bit off kilter so that it looks kind of cool. I think I'll do that. Put a little bit of glue on there and just a little off kilter. Okay? So now we have our completed flower and this, and we need to start using our paper tape, our floral tape. Again, this is floral tape. It comes in a multitude of colors. Normally, when you pull it a little bit, it gets sort of sticky, but it doesn't seem as sticky as I want it to be. I don't know why. So I always start it with a tiny, tiny bit of glue because I don't want it to sort of roll off of my stem. So let's get it started kind of close to the top here. All right. We'll come back up to the top, okay? But this is how it's supposed to work. And you're going to do better than me, okay, you guys? Because I struggle with this part. But I suppose you will get better at it as you go along if you're going to make a whole bouquet. And normally I would just use just the flower so I could avoid doing this paper tape part. But you're going to want to pull it a little bit to sort of release that wax that gives it the stickiness. All right. And the stems of a Gerbera daisy are quite thick. So it's okay if you like kind of make it down to the end and then start moving back up. I'm going to actually put a little tiny bit. I know, stretch the tape is what Affilliate is telling me. I guess I just don't stretch it enough, but I really should. It sort of slips for me. Okay, as I make my way back up the stem and stretching, as Affilliate is telling me, is I'm going to then take my leaf and incorporate it into my flower. You see there's my stem, pulling, and incorporating the leaf part into the flower. This does take a little practice, folks. Don't think you're going to, maybe you'll be awesome at it, and not, you know, but I am not super awesome at it. But here we go. And moving up here. Now what you want to do is probably put it around like that, and then you have to sort of contend with the leaves. All right. All right. And then when you get to the end, I would just cut it right here, maybe. And again, pulling it so that it's got that stickiness, and you will have like a sticky, almost like a candle wax feel on your hands. So know that when you're doing this, you might have to give your hands a good washing with good soap to get rid of that like sort of wax feel, okay? And then up here, just kind of getting so you cannot see the wire. I almost wish that there was like, what's that called? A sepal here, but there is no sepal. But I don't think a lot of people are going to be looking at the bottom of this flower, or the, you know, the underside of this flower. And I am going to put a tiny bit of glue. Your mileage may vary. You might do it slightly different than me, but there's how I would complete this Gerbera daisy. What do you think, guys? Do you like it? It's really pretty, I think, and it would look really good in orange. So here's my orange one. Here's my pink one. And the beautiful thing about this is they last forever. Now, Gerbera Daisies generally do last for a long time, and they look good, one, in a tiny little bud vase, or you could put a lot of them in there. That's fine. I hear people saying that they see them a lot in the doctor's office, which is kind of cool. They come in such bright colors, pinks and reds and purples. I don't see them in whites too much, but like kind of like a light purple, almost like a violet, sort of this. So that is, oh, nice. Beautiful. So I love paper for this flower because it's really sturdy, and this is a very sturdy flower. So I hope you try them. I will give you my completed Design Space file for this, so do look at the description of the video after I post it online, and you can make the flower just like this. Okay? Awesome. I'm so glad that they're somebody's favorite, April. I really like them. They're very pretty. I am inclined, because they do look very, they almost look like the real ones look like paper, so I think this is a really good representation, but I like to glitter things, so I'm almost inclined to glitter it, but it would give away the natural look of it. Anyway, so that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Again, tomorrow is Earth Day, and we're going to be working on, I've got some great little stickers that I want to show you that I found in Design Space. And then also, hopefully, I can also do an infusible ink tote bag, because we need to stop using plastic bags, and even the paper bags. When I did my cleanup on Saturday, which was such a tough day because it snowed out while we were cleaning out the city, I found lots and lots of plastic, not nearly as much as before, but even still you could find paper bags. They do decompose, but it takes a while for them to decompose, and they look yucky. So I think the ultimate goal is to get rid of any kind of bag at all and use reusable bags. So I want to show you how to do that. Okay. Thanks everybody for coming today. We will see you tomorrow. Do not forget. Oh, you got tacos? Tacos are good anytime, right? Thanks everybody. Thank you, Diana. We will see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the day, and I hope you get some crafting in. Take care.